November 18th, 2010. GM IPO No Bueno. I also thought of entitling this GM IPO 101 and 426. But you know, when you first get into college, your freshman year, you're taking the 101 classes, the basics. And then when you get into your third or fourth year, you're taking the 400 classes, 426. At least that's how it was back in the day when I was at BYU in undergraduate work. A lot of thoughts come to my mind about this GM IPO. Of course, it's been in the news a ton the last few days. And there's people that don't understand IPOs, and then there's people that think they understand the huge picture, which don't understand what's going on. And then there's the few that do understand what's going on. I think Warren Buffett understands what's going on, but I don't believe that Warren Buffett has the same beliefs that I believe in. I don't believe that Warren Buffett truly believes in free markets. In fact, he doesn't truly believe in free markets. So I've been thinking of what to talk about all the way from an IPO. What is an IPO? It means initial public offering. And usually, having grown up in Silicon Valley, it's when a company like Sun Microsystems or Intel or Apple or any of those companies. I think Apple's initial valuation was $25 million for the whole company a long time ago. And as time goes by, obviously Apple is, huge, and from what I understand now, it's second only to Exxon as far as market capitalization here in the United States. Huge, huge, huge corporation. So an IPO, initial public offering, is essentially when the private investors, whether it's just some people starting it off or venture capitalists, whatever, is when they cash in. And when they cash in, it's basically they sell their stock, their founding stock, to the public or to institutions. So basically, they're at a point where they feel the valuations, it's to their benefit to sell it to somebody else, and they get the money. They get, 20%, 50%, whatever percentage of the company that's being sold in the initial public offering. So this was the largest IPO in U.S. history, and it was a strange IPO because it was an IPO done by the U.S. government with General Motors. So the basic principle to me is, and it is the basic principle, capitalism versus socialism, communism. And all socialism is just, a little bit away from communism. It's just a distinction, I think, as far as amount of control. So you either believe in free markets and the U.S. Constitution, or you don't. So anyway, so the 101 stuff on IPO is the investors, whoever holds the stock, sells it to the public through institutions, and are basically cashing out. And a lot of times, for instance, right now, sophisticated investors and people are thinking, is it a good time to get into? Just excuse me for a sec there. A good time to get into General Motors at $33 or $34 a share or not? Well, my opinion is that the government is offloading and taking them some money. Also, the government, CNBC is talking about that with the remainder of the government share of GM, they would have to sell the rest of it at about $50 a share to break even. So let's watch and see if that happens. But a lot of sophisticated investors are saying they wouldn't want to own General Motors at $33 a share. Personally, if I was running a big portfolio, I wouldn't own it. And from my watching IPOs for a long time, because they're fun to watch, I've been watching them for 25 years. A lot of times they'll go public at 11 or 12 and, run up to 20 or 25 the same day. Huge gains, like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80%, 100% in one day. So a gain of like from 33 to 34, 35 is really not that big of a deal for people that have watched IPOs for a long time. It's kind of funny to watch the media make a big deal. Whoa, man, Actually, it's hilarious because it's really kind of a pathetic gain. You know, $1 on a $33 stock. Okay, so 101, that's what happens there. Let's go to some esoteric things in IPO 426 and beyond. Funny that it went public at $33 a share. I just like, because that's completely determined by the underwriters, by the people that do it. I mean, let's say you're selling, you know, not going to get into details, but let's say you're selling, 10 million shares at 33. You could also be selling 50 million shares at 66, okay, to basically have the same proceeds. So that dollar per share is obviously and can be manipulated, and it's so funny to me that it went public at 33. Okay, so just a little bit of esoteric stuff thrown in there. I need a drink of water with this. Let's go to 426. Part of that, more advanced financial strategies on this IPO. I think the more sophisticated people would not be getting into it. Is there any potential for government manipulation in this? Are you kidding me? There's a fund that can buy stocks, let alone, U.S. Government treasuries and debt. So, of course, it could be manipulated. And if the government's got billions and billions, over $1 trillion to prop up the U.S. economy with, they can help the price stay at 34 or 38 or wherever they want to help it be. So, it's not a free market in this, okay? Not a free market. Okay, back to the New York Times. Let's go back to the New York Times. New York Times is a big deal. If you think about